Hey everyone, James here. Today we're going to be learning about how to validate form data using Express. Validating user input data is always important for any application, and we'll be doing that using the popular NPM package Express Validator. So let's first download that. Let's do npm install --save Express Validator. Simple. Cool. And once that's finished downloading, let's go back to our application. Yes, 0 vulnerabilities. Here, let's put it on our application. So first, we're going to have to require it. So let's do const validator. That could be anything. Require express validator. And we'll be using our application engine and use it. And a specific thing you have to notice is we also have to have, this needs to have app.use body parser. So let's click that in. My mistake. True. Parser. And hopefully that works. But that's the body parser is important because validator requires it. So we also need to app.use validator. And we'll be using validator as a function from up here. And it needs to be after body parser because body parser has rec.body and validator checks rec.body. Cool. And our post request, which is what forms typically send HTTP post requests, we're going to be doing rec.check. And this will be checking this is a specific function that validator gives us. So check takes in two parameters. The first parameter being whatever input name that we're searching for. So in this case, we're going to be checking our user input, and its name is user. And then the second parameter is our error message. So let's do errors. Let's just say user is empty, shall we? And for this one, we're going to specifically do is not empty. This will be checking, making sure that our user input isn't empty. And let's test it out, shall we? Nothing happens. First, we're going to have to instantiate a variable called, let's call it errors. And let's do rec.validation errors. Cool. And this will be giving us back an object. Validation errors gives us an object in errors, and errors is a array object. So let's console.log it. Errors. Let's say these are the errors. These are the errors. Do you see the errors in your ways? Cool. And let's check it out. Let's put nothing in the user field. And cool. These are the errors, and it's an array with a message and parameter user, exactly how we showed it. And its location is body, just how we said rec.body is checked using body parser. Cool. And at the same time, if we do put a user, let's say James, and submit it, we notice that what's given back is false. And that's cool to notice because that means we can work with the truthy value. So if errors is true, then we can do res.status, which will send the status code of 400 because there's an error when that happens. And let's submit it. Cool. And let's check our console. And yes, exactly. There's a 400 status code, which is a bad request, typically. Now, onto the fun part. We want to display these errors onto our application. So we're going to be, when we're doing res.render, we're going to be sending errors. This can also be shorthanded to be just this, to just errors. Errors can be just shorthanded to errors, which is a cool feature that JavaScript has. And inside our application, we're going to want to display these. So let's make it an unordered list and have it go through a loop of errors because of an array. And let's call it errors. That's what it's searching for. Close the loop each. And let's make inside a list item. And we're going to be specifically asking for its message. And cool, let's see what happens. Cool, user's empty, and now we're displaying it on the actual application. So validation, Express Validator has a lot of different functions. All these functions and all this documentation will be in the notes below the video, and you can see them for later. But all these functions are useful for when we're trying to validate inputs, like emails, for example. For ours, let's try something else. Let's try to validate our password this time. So let's create another rec.check. This time we're gonna have to look for what the password input name is, and it's called secret. So let's put in the first parameter to be secret. Our second one to be the error message, which is gonna be, for this example, password is less than 4 characters, shall we? And we're gonna be using the function isLength. IsLength will take an object and with the key of, it can take a decent amount of keys, but we're gonna be specifically using min. So min 4. So let's try it out. With nothing, it's cool. It displays both of them through our loop. If we put just a user, there's a password. Password is less than 4 characters. If we put James and a password that's less than 4 characters, 3, still password is less than 4 characters. Now let's do James, password Wang. Cool, and then we have the no errors.